The twin spires of Tocho, shadows that govern the night in the bustling heart of Shinjuku, where endless streams of salarymen disappear into underground stations and neon signs fight against the darkness. The Tokyo Metropolitan Government Building, known to locals simply as Tocho, stands like a silent sentinel. Completed in 1991, its massive twin towers rise 243 meters into the Tokyo sky, designed by renowned architect Kenzo Tange. The structure splits dramatically at the 33rd floor, creating a futuristic silhouette that some say resembles a circuit board fused with an ancient Gothic cathedral. By day, it is the beating heart of Tokyo's administration. Thousands of officials, clerks, and visitors move through its halls. Tourists flock to the free observation decks for panoramic views of the city. But when the sun sets and the last employees filter out, something changes. The building does not sleep. According to decades of whispered accounts from night security, cleaners, and unfortunate late workers, Tocho harbors something ancient and hungry beneath its steel and concrete skin. This is the story compiled from those fragments, hushed conversations in izakayas, deleted forum posts, and testimonies from people who no longer work there. They say these events are true. They continue to this day that it begins, as many Tokyo hauntings do, with what lies beneath. Before the grand complex was built, the land in that part of Shinjuku held older structures, forgotten alleyways, and layers of history from the rapid post-war reconstruction. Some claim unmarked graves from the chaotic years after the war were disturbed. Others speak of corners cut during the economic bubble of the 1980s, when the building rose amid frenzied development. Workers pushed beyond exhaustion. Accidents that were quietly settled. Lives lost to the dream of a modern metropolis. The first report surfaced not long after opening. Maintenance crews on the night shift noticed lights flickering on upper floors long after power should have been cut. Elevators would arrive at empty lobbies with their buttons already pressed from inside. But the truly disturbing encounters began higher up. One former security guard described patrolling the 42nd floor of Tower 1 late one autumn night. The floor was supposed to be deserted. Motion sensors kept triggering in a vacant conference room. When he entered, the temperature dropped sharply. His breath fogged in the air. In the large panoramic windows reflecting the glittering city below, he saw her, a woman in a pale, old-fashioned yukata, long black hair obscuring her face. She stood directly behind his reflection. He turned. The room was empty. When he looked back at the glass, she had moved closer, one hand pressed against the inside of the window from the other side of the reflection. A faint voice in an old Tokyo dialect whispered, "Tasakit, why did you bury us here?" He fled down the emergency stairs. The elevators, he later swore, refused to open on that floor again that night. Word spread quietly among the night staff. Another incident involved the sub-basement archives, where old city planning documents and records from before Tocho's construction are stored. A veteran cleaner arrived one morning to find filing cabinets wide open. Papers scattered across the floor formed strange patterns, crude maps of pre-development Shinjuku with the exact site of the towers circled repeatedly in red ink. Mixed among official documents were crumpled handwritten notes, desperate suicide letters from the bubble era, when overwork claimed many in the surrounding offices. Some notes mentioned the building watching or the towers drinking ambition. The cleaner gathered the papers, but one sheet refused to be picked up. It was a construction log from the late 1980s detailing a fatal accident, a worker who fell from scaffolding. The name was scratched out, but the date matched a week when several unexplained delays occurred. That same cleaner reportedly requested a transfer the following week and has never spoken publicly about what else she saw. Security teams began avoiding solo patrols above the 30th floor after midnight. Those who did reported hearing soft footsteps following them, the click of dress shoes on marble, the shuffle of tired feet that never quite caught up. Phones in empty offices would ring with no caller ID. When answered, there was only heavy breathing or distant sounds of a crowded office during the day. Even though it was 3 a.m. and the building was locked down, the most chilling account comes from a group of 3 night workers trapped during a powerful typhoon several years ago. Power failed across sections of the complex. The internal phone system came alive on its own. Every extension rang simultaneously. One picked up to the sound of a child giggling. Another heard a man screaming as if falling from a great height. The third line was clearest, the same woman's voice, calm now, almost bureaucratic, "You built your government on our resting place. Applications for peace, denied." Then the emergency lights died completely. In the pitch black of the ground floor lobby, the workers heard it, hundreds of footsteps emerging from the motionless elevators and stairwells. Dragging, shuffling, determined. Flashlights revealed fleeting shapes, pale figures in outdated 1980s business suits with hollow, exhausted eyes. Construction workers with crushed hard hats. Office ladies with disheveled hair and necks bent at unnatural angles. They moved as if still rushing to meetings or deadlines that never ended. The figures weren't violent. They seemed to be searching among the living. One stopped inches from a guard's face, a man whose features matched an old staff photo of a supervisor who supposedly died of a heart attack days before the building's grand opening. No words were spoken aloud, but the guard later described hearing a voice inside his mind, "This place was never meant to stand tall. The split in the towers, they are doorways. Every soul who works here feeds it." The three men barely escaped to the plaza outside as power suddenly surged back on. From a safe distance, they looked up at the illuminated towers. The windows seemed to pulse like countless watching eyes. The building appeared to breathe in rhythm with the storm. Since then, the legends have only grown. Urban explorers and amateur ghost hunters who have attempted late-night visits report disorienting experiences, hallways that seem longer than they should be according to official blueprints. Floors where the numbering on elevator panels doesn't match reality. On certain full moons, a solitary figure can be seen standing on a high balcony, arms outstretched as if conducting an invisible symphony of suffering. Cleaners still find wet footprints on upper floors leading up the walls toward the ceiling. Security cameras occasionally capture static-filled orbs drifting through corridors, or worse, human shapes standing perfectly still in empty rooms, facing the camera directly even when no one is present. Office workers on late shifts sometimes experience elevator glitches. The car stops on a floor that shouldn't exist, the doors open to reveal a brightly lit but completely deserted workspace filled with the sounds of typing and murmured conversations. When the doors close again, the normal floors resume, but the passenger is never quite the same afterward. Some quit shortly after. Others develop an inexplicable fear of heights or enclosed spaces. The Tokyo Metropolitan Government Building is more than concrete and glass. It is a monument to relentless progress built upon layers of the forgotten. The restless dead of Shinjuku's past, displaced spirits, overworked souls claimed by the machine of the city, and perhaps something older that resents the steel piercing the ground, have found a permanent home within its twin spires. Visitors to the observation decks during daylight often comment on the breathtaking view. But if you go at night, press your forehead against the cold glass and stare down at the glowing city. Look carefully at the reflections. You may see salarymen standing too close behind you. A woman in white. Or your own face, but with eyes far more tired than they should be, carrying the weight of endless, unfinished bureaucratic work stretching into eternity. Tocho governs more than just the living city. Its paperwork never ends, and its archives are always accepting new entries. That if you ever find yourself inside after dark, remember this: the elevators move whether you call them or not. The lights flicker for a reason. And when you hear soft crying in an empty hallway, do not answer. Do not offer help, because in the towers of Tocho, the only thing truly administered is fear. Stay safe out there. If you visit Shinjuku, admire the building from the plaza during the day. And whatever you do, don't stay after the office is empty. The city never sleeps. Neither does Tocho.